Hey, Matt, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. I am currently in the weeds of doing task management and all the nitty gritty shit that we have to get done, running different projects and businesses. And one of the main things that I just finished doing this morning that I felt kind of bad for, and then I had to let it go because I realized it's my time and I'm allowed to be selfish, but I just reworked my entire November because if it's not a
Like the
meeting,
calendar? Like,
the
what do you
whole
mean?
calendar. Yeah.
Okay.
So I just looked at it and it was just so busy, right? It's always so busy and it's just back to back stuff. And I said, how am I spending my time? I have to do this every so often
Hmm.
because it gets out of control, you know? And when I have meetings and when I open my calendar and I haven't protected my time, I did two things. One, I just emailed my VA and said, hey, let's go back and revisit my availability in my scheduling links and please adjust it to this, which I'm literally only offering 2 or 3 days a week, 2 to 3 hours each day. That's it for people to book with me. Everything else is mine because what I'm having to work on in the weeds right now is taking a lot, like 2 to 3 hour time blocks for me to sit down and actually do the damn thing. So
Hmm.
instead of like a meeting and then 45 minutes and then a meeting and then an hour or a meeting and 30 minutes, it's not conducive to me needing to show up as a networker, connector, business development versus Anne's got to get shit done. So that was the one thing I did of two. And then the second thing I did was literally I went into my calendar for the rest of November and I literally pushed 50% of my commitments to December or canceled. So I asked myself, what do I want from talking to this person or what do they want from me? Is there a need? Is there a priority? Does it
Hmm.
impact these main goals that I'm working toward right now? And if the answer was no, I just said, hey, things have shifted. Now isn't the best time for us to connect. Let's look in the new year.
But you
Thanks.
have to get shit done. I mean,
Happy
like, that's
holidays.
basically what it is.
Exactly. And so that's what I did. So I literally pushed lunches. I had some students from guest lecturing have some, I give them some time because they've been really assertive and loyal and they're awesome. But I said, look, I'm not doing, I don't have another name for it. So connections calls or catch up calls until December at this point. And those might move
Hmm.
too, but I'm just going to put a placeholder in December. It might need to move to next year, but I do it with kindness. I do it with directness. I don't say I'm sorry and I don't apologize. I don't ask for permission. I just literally lay down the law and say, I reworked my calendar. I'm doing some priority planning, bumping us to December. We'll see if that time works as we get closer. Thanks. Have a great day. Let me know if this new day doesn't work for you, right? It's very
Hmm.
collaborative, but it's very firm. And I think that as founders is so important for us to do that with our schedules of task management, protecting time, and just throwing blocks of like flow state time on our calendars to say, hey, we have this running list of shit we have to get done. I want just time to not be having to look at the clock for when my next meeting is,
Right, right.
That's a
How do
gift.
you, when you, okay, clear out your schedule and then you have a list of things, or at least like in your, either written down or in your head. What's the first thing you work on? Is it like the small, easy thing or the hardest, critical one?
It depends on the day. So I'm very, very much an energy person. And I know everybody says that, but me specifically, it is literally as a woman, it's based very much on my cycle and the flow of hormones and the flow of brain power given where I am in my cycle. That is 100%. If anyone has read all the books and podcasts out there about women planning your life around your cycle, I 100,000% agree with that. I think that you have to in any regard. I plan more personal engagements and social activities when I'm definitely in the part of my cycle where I am lively and excited and want to be outside and seen. And then there's definitely weeks in there where I'm like, shut the fuck up and leave me alone. I'm going to go to a dark cave. And this is how I feel about my family. And that's okay. And I think because I've leaned into that, my weeks, that's why I don't have my VA manage my calendar. I don't have anyone manage my calendar because that's mine. I'll have them do the admin function. And she set up all my honeybook to create all of my lead forms and my schedulers beautifully. I'll have her step in where needed with a person and I'll give her the weeks to plan for that person because I control the energy of my calendar. That's so important to me.
Hmm.
So anyway, long story to answer your question short is the tasks that I do depend on my day and my mood, my energy, and what I can give. And I actually give myself permission to change my calendar from what I had planned based on my mood. So if I wake up and I'm like, I am really feeling today, I'll use this. I'm really feeling like cleansing, detoxing, purging. I want to get rid of. I used this whole morning. I said, screw it. I had 2 things going on this morning that I had planned. I got rid of it, had to reschedule, and I used the time to be in my calendar because I was ready to detox without any guilt. So that's when I went through and purged November, and then purged conversations that no longer felt aligned with what I needed. So I just canceled. I literally canceled. And this is a funny story. I will share this with you today. This is funny. I had a doctor's appointment this morning to meet a new potential primary care because I just don't like my primary care. And I, for some reason, was in the car driving and I was like, I don't give a shit about this. I don't need a good primary care. Why am I giving an hour to a new appointment today when I don't even need a doctor? And the times I need a primary care are for quick in and out things. I'm not going to be asking them for guidance. They don't have to be my person. Like, I have health advice from other practitioners who are fine, right? They have to do like labs and like easy in and out things. And oh shit, I'm sick. I need an antibiotic, right?
Right.
And I was like, why do I really care about this? I don't. And you know what was interesting? This is fascinating. I self-sabotaged and I didn't even realize it. So I was already thinking that going to the doctor's appointment, right? I was there in the parking lot. This is actually hilarious and disgusting at the same time. 45 minutes ahead of the appointment, plenty of time. I was eating my breakfast, listening to a book, drinking my coffee. I just started The Alchemist. So I'm like in it.
What is that? Is it a book? I have no idea.
A book. Yeah, The Alchemist. It's insane. It's amazing. Everybody says it's like their favorite book. It is so good. So I started listening to that. And then all of a sudden I looked at the clock and I was 7 minutes late past the appointment. I was like, shit, I was here early. How did I do that? I felt like such a bad person. But I was like, you know what? It's fine. You lost track of time. You wanted to do something else. I chose to do my energy to feed my soul with this book and enjoy my coffee and my breakfast, right? I go in and it was all supposed to happen this way. Not saying you should do this as your plan of attack. This is douchey. But I go in and they're like, oh, we have a 5-minute late policy and it's 7 after. Your appointment was actually at 9. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm so sorry I was late. And she said, let me see if we can still see you. She goes back, comes back up. I'm sorry, we can't see you today. We're going to have to reschedule. But I had already on my drive over said, why am I here? I don't want to be doing this. I don't need a new doctor. So I'd energetically already manifested that this appointment was bullshit. Didn't plan on being the asshole, of course. It went against their late practice, which is totally fine. And I respected their boundaries and said, hey, I'm so sorry I was late. And I was like, no problem. I'll just have to call and reschedule another time. Walked out. I don't ever plan on calling back. I don't need a new doctor. I don't need to be spending my time on that right now. I left and I was relieved. I got back in the car and I was like, I just got an hour back in my day. And then I canceled my next thing. And then that's
Wait,
the
did
time
you really get an hour back in your day because you spent 45 minutes in the car and the prep to get there? It really sounds like you lost 2 hours.
No, because
versus gaining.
The 45 minutes in the car ahead of time was planned. So I'd already had all my activities planned to do things in the car to catch up with people and make phone calls because I had to drop my kids at school and I knew I had that buffer time to eat breakfast and drink my coffee and like do some to-dos. So I did 2 to-dos in the car, but then I got lost in my book. But that time was needed to kind of feed my visionary soul. In the mood that I'm in today of energetically detoxing, it led me into both the book, right? And then the canceling of the appointment. Then I drove to my office, got another 35 minutes back on the calendar I didn't have. Then I canceled my next thing and gave myself all this time. And guess what I've been doing? I reworked my entire November calendar. I checked in on some projects with my VA to offload them from me, detoxing, purging, right? What can I get rid of? I've been going through my inbox way back to the dumpster fire that was weeks ago that I haven't looked at. And I've been purging and cleaning, responding. If there was any follow-up needed, I have to ask myself, is this still in alignment with what I need out of November? And if the answer was no, I write back, say, hey, thanks so much. I'm no longer interested, or thanks, this doesn't serve my goals for right now. Let's connect next year. Whatever it is, canceling, responding, deleting, offloading, and getting rid of all of the things that have been pulling at my attention this whole morning. And literally just had the most amazing phone call before this podcast with someone who's feeding a goal that I've been intentional about with using my time differently this morning anyway. So that's where I am. Go ahead.
What is the burning deadline that you're missing all the time? Because like I get you're doing a lot of granular work, but I'm not like, where are you behind in work? Like, where is it where like if you miss it, you will lose everything? Where is that task? Because I'm like, every day I have that task every single day. Like if I don't do it, something will die. Something. I don't know what, but it's not going to be a pleasant feeling.
Oh, that for me is so business development. I've learned, I put pause on
Yes.
that, if you remember, to start my media brand and like the brand of Ann. And I've learned over the last few weeks that I've been working on that was the wrong move, but it was the right move in creating more purpose and intention of how I want to be working and what I want to be selling. So by pausing, I'm mad that I paused because like you, I wasn't generating. So everything is just dead. If I don't generate, there's no pipeline. So those are the tasks that if I don't do them, nothing will move forward. And so what's been really incredible about the pause, not only giving my mind time to realize some unhealthy behaviors I've been doing, like, for example, I'm going to pause generating business activity for Fix Inform and Tend to Launch so I can go work on the brand of Ann. Have I been setting aside the brand of Ann to do the work for that? No, because I didn't know what that looked like until recently. Oh, shit. If I'm now a speaker and a podcast guest and a content creator, what are those people do on a daily basis? That's what I should be spending my time doing because that's what I want to do. So I bought an amazing content course, learning the tools, the tricks, the formulas. I bought and hired my 2MM media team, who I'm connecting more with, of their formulas. They know how to do this. So taking their coaching, sitting deep within that, rewriting scripts for me to film videos. And it's hard. It's the simplest stuff and it's so hard. And I'll film another one.
You're distilling the ocean into a droplet, right? That's what content creation is.
Yes. And it is incredibly difficult to do it well. And now I'm learning enough where I go online to consume, which I'm trying to consume less and just ship more. So I'm shifting that whole pattern of my life, how I engage with social media channels that I enjoy. I want to consume less and I want to be creating more. So now I'm flipping it. And as I consume, it's now very obvious to me who knows the secret and who doesn't. And I'm like, ooh, they should have said this first. Like I'm learning and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I now know that, right? But for me, what I've lost and what I've now focused on is there is one, I call it a product. It's really a consulting service of mine that I should just be focused on selling that. And everyone said you should niche down. And I was like, oh, I do this and this. I am. So I am now targeting all of the activities and the conversations and the networking and the selling that I should be doing for this one service. And I sold one for November from a referral and I can't wait. And then all of a sudden I thought, holy shit, my whole business for Fix Inform, all of the monthly operating costs for the whole business for 1 month is a little less than the price of this one amazing service that I offer that is so helpful when I deliver it, which fulfills my purpose of helping people and healing people in business, right? And if I sold one of those a month, it's 6 to 8 hours of my time total. And it covers the entire operating cost for that month for Fix Inform plus a little extra. That's it. Like I could fund at baseline that, and then it frees up all my time to do other activities. That's it. So when I learned that, I had to pause doing all the other stuff, right? And working on my brand. And then I had this referral come in. And it was the aha that I should be reaching out to my referral partners left and right, use this as a case study, even get a testimonial from that person who brought me in, and then get a testimonial from the client because she thought, oh, I'm upselling them and bringing you in. And the client's like, oh, thank you. We thought we were making her mad by not having a decision ready and we just feel like failures and we needed help. We didn't know what we needed and they're so grateful. And then just blasting that to everyone I know to just sell one of those a month. And if I get more, gravy, right? But if just one, and then I'm like set. That's what I should be doing right now. That's my
Well,
task.
it's two,
That's
right?
the
I mean,
task.
your referral network is based on the new connections you add into the network too, right?
Right.
It's twofold, right? So it's like you need to build your network, and then if you have if you have a service that your network might want, then you can plug that in. You have to keep both of them going. So you need two burning needs, then you have to continue to grow your network, right? So that's where, like, when I'm hearing like the calendar stuff, or even just like, what you're doing during the day, like, okay, that makes sense. Like, you want to clear up your time, but it doesn't feel like one of those urgent things. It doesn't feel like, like before and most likely after this call, I have very urgent things to get done that have to get done. And I think it makes sense that you're in, like, it feels like you're still learning and discovery phase as you transition into the new mode or potential new mode that you're in.
Right.
But I think one suggestion I have is to figure out the most important thing that's going to give the greatest possible outcome today. And that would always be the priority. Even if it doesn't even matter how long it takes. That would be like, that's how I kind of organize my day, right? It's not even based on energy. It's actually just based on what is the least amount of hours for the greatest amount of outcome today. And that's what goes first. And then the order is, the secondary order is still highest outcome, then regardless of time.
Do you do planning every morning for what those outcomes need to be, or when does that happen in your world?
The dynamic of the business, like the business is dynamic. So there's like three buckets of tasks. There is anything my support team sends to me in the morning that I see right when I get on. I have to figure out, like, in the priority chain, where does that fit in my day? So that needs to be figured out. The second thing is any lingering tasks from the previous time, which always happens. What has to be solved today? What can I just kick the can down the road? Yeah. And then the third one is things that tasks where I can make a really big difference in the next 2 hours. Like a huge difference. I'm not like saying like, oh, it's like here's a minor thing, or I can do a quick fixing. No, it's like one of those things where biggest possible value in that 2 hour block. And then I just figure out what I can do. Sometimes it's like a series of follow-ups with a potential lead or a series of leads. Sometimes it could be like that, because that's always a big outcome. It's like, well, those follow-ups usually double the chance of closing those white label, because I usually only do them for white label. They'll double the chance of white label sales. Or if it's like a customer bug that has been lingering for a bit, and it just so happens that it's been open for 3 weeks, it has been low priority, but because there's a chance of churn now for that customer, and if I get it done the next 2 hours, they're going to be very happy. Even if it was a low priority thing at a time, because such small little details, like if I get it done now, that customer is happy and I can move on. Or it's just more, and these days, a lot of those 2 hour tasks are actually more marketing focused. So it's like, how can I get more people to see ChipBot? It's like literally the number one thing I wake up every single day is like, how do I get more people to see just the brand of ChipBot, just the message, the ideas of ChipBot? It doesn't even have to be the brand, just the idea that we're shipping. I just need more people to see it. So that is what, that's on my top of mind every day. So those are the three buckets that I look at in the beginning of the day. And I will just work my ass off until I can't work anymore. Interesting. To get those done.
What are the tasks that you said before and after this that you have to do?
Before this is I have some of my ad performance doesn't make any sense. I'm paying I did a campaign on this was on Reddit, and this was experiment number 2. We're trying different ideas. Experiment 1 worked okay, but experiment 2, I'm trying to get the right audience. I'm trying to get the right buyer intent. Anyway. I got 150 clicks, and then they visit the landing page and they watch the video, and the video only has 30 views. And I'm like, where am I losing these people? Right. And it's like, are they clicking? Anyway, I don't know if it's a Reddit problem or I don't know if it's the landing page problem. So, and I have to turn off the campaign, because I'm like, whose problem is this first? I'm not going to keep paying.
Sure.
The budget is like $200 to $500 a day. So I'm like, I'm not I just
No.
basically turn it on, test, turn it
Pause.
off.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I'm like, what is going on? So before this call, it was just performance metrics.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, I need to get this solved today because the longer these are paused, the less people are seeing ChipBot, and that bugs the
Sure.
shit out of me.
Okay.
And then after this call is we have two things going on. I got influencer meetings where influencer meetings to sync up with the distribution. They're just going to talk about and review ChipBot. And then after that is recording with my customer support person. We do some content creation for ChipBot. So we do some recordings and just kind of just talk through things and based on our content strategy and ship them out to social media. So it's like, you can kind of see a pattern. Everything is around marketing right now. But at night is like, whatever develop, just software development, product, whatever, anything that doesn't require like super burning urgent problems, I'll do it at night.
You know what I realized by listening to you? This was very insightful. So thanks for sharing that. I am, and this will be our last thought because I just looked at the time. I am really in a mode this year of working on the brands instead of in them. And I think I struggle on the daily with what am I doing to make it better or enhance it or continue working on it versus just leaving it alone and walking away and working in it. So I'm thinking this year has been a whole overhaul of so many things that I'm working on and creating. I'm really hoping to set intentions for next year to be just working in them and knowing.
Why do you have to wait a whole year? Why do you have to wait until January 2nd?
I'm working on them now so that it's just as soon as possible.
Yeah, ASAP.
They are done. They are settled. They are ready to go. And I literally just have those tasks like what you just said. I just need more people to see what I'm working on and how to engage with me and hire me or how to buy what I'm selling, right?
So to me, I would lose sleep on that every day until it's solved. That's how that's how everything gets prioritized. I don't get good restful sleep unless I solve that core. I think in your case, you just defined it. My case, I already talked about it. And it's like, that's the most important thing. That's how I get detail oriented really quickly too. It's like, okay, I'm moving time away. Detail oriented is around this burning problem. If I'm not doing 110% in this task, I will fail tomorrow. And that's going to make me a really shitty person.
I love that. Yeah.
Cool.
Good stuff today. We'll go get to your priority items. Thanks for spending the time and I'll see you later, Matt.
All right. Thanks, Ann. Take care.
You too.